At least one.
Aatrox banned out, and see if you can get a force on that. Interesting that the Gragas rather is taken off the table here from Empty. Empty did play pretty well, and was pivotal in those kind of early game mid lane skirmishes to actually get GRX going there. So they want to take him off of that pick, but.
It was the Skarner that he played, so if they can get the Skarner too, maybe he's on the Nocturne, and then you just push both junglers to 6, or Brett pressing that 6R button, words. Varus now banned out on the side of GRX. One last ban for Pacheshire Supermassive Phase 1, and will it be that Aatrox?
Yeah, and this is where it really does become that tell if they are comfortable playing those top lane matchups or not. It's looking okay.
Alistar at Koala. So they say it might not be as much of a problem here on the blue side if we still get first pick.
Yeah, very interesting. They actually ban away both Empty's champion as well as Koala's champions from game 1. So banning away a lot of the engage that GRX had in game number 1. Yeah. But it didn't really seem to be an issue for them. So I'm kind of surprised to see them stray completely away from the kind of carry bans that they had up in the top side. Would be interesting to see where they elect to go now. Sion is taken off the table, so Supermassive is likely going to be in that Urgot versus Aatrox situation now. They should have the Urgot side of it, and that is really, I would say, the much easier side to play, and it is kind of a pseudo tank up there in that top lane. So Fabulous should have a kind of better time on this side of the matchup than he would on the Aatrox side, but either way, it will be carry versus carry, and it's something where a mistake as he had in the first game is going to punish you a lot harder.
One Urgot play throughout that regular season, none so far in the play-in for Fabulous, but as you said, it's a must-take. PK now looking at that Aatrox. See if he can do some damage on it. One play for him in the regular season, so both these guys obviously have a bit of the champion understanding, but now we're going to see it at that world stage level. It's going to be Urgot versus Aatrox in the top lane, as both of these champions were banned out last game. Does Stitch get the Kai'Sa second time around?
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense here. Take that Kai'Sa away from Zeitnot. We saw how dominant he was in those team fights on the champion. The Varus has already been banned away from him as well. So he is going to be having to look elsewhere. He did play 2 Varus games. He just showed the Kai'Sa as well throughout the play, and he played Caitlyn, Lucian, and Ashe also, but those are not really who you see as kind of those late game hyper carries. They fill a little bit of a different role. Caitlyn may be a bit of an exception there, but takes a long time to get online, and I'll be interested to see where they elect to go, if they want to go for the other side of the matchup with the Xayah.
Lovers duo, possibly locking it in. Have some pretty good range between Snowflower and Zeitnot on that bot side. They are going to let the time tick down so they can just discuss things, and it is going to be the lock-in of the Xayah. First phase is over for Supermassive. And
letting it tick down right to the end is always smart. If you're not sure, even if you're sure about that pick, if you're not sure about the next pick, you can be talking ahead and really, utilizing that time to the maximum. You do sometimes see teams really try to push the pace to force decisions more quickly in picks and bans, but oftentimes it looks a lot more like this. And 2 takeaways here now from GRX, taking that Skarner away from Stone-Aged, the Kai'Sa away from Zeitnot, but we saw how incredible Stoneflower was on the Rakan, and it's just going to be that much stronger now paired up with the Xayah because of the synergy that they have and kind of the inherent bonuses that they do get.
And maybe they feel like they shut down a Koala a little bit with that Alistar ban as well. They're going to feel good about whatever goes in that mid lane for GBM, that he won't be hovered by the Mad Cow all game. Olaf banned out from Stone-Aged. His junglers have been quite unique up until we saw last game as that replay. And we'll have to see what he puts in here. So his champion pool has been quite diverse. He's a big spot for the team to look at in champion select to really relieve some pressure.
Yeah, he definitely is. I mean, 5 different picks, and they're all much more on kind of the tank side of things. And he has played the Olaf, J4, Skarner, Trundle, and Gragas throughout the play-in. So certainly is going to have a number of picks that he could look towards. I wouldn't mind seeing a Trundle come through, against that Skarner. I think it can be fairly strong, but it depends on what they feel they are lacking in the composition, what they feel they're really going to need. Galio being taken away from GBM, I think that's another pick that does pair up well with the Rakan and is also a safe blind pick because they are blue side now, so you want to ban out something that is a bit of that safety pick here for GBM.
If GBM doesn't get that Galio in the first phase, which would be weird, I don't think he's ever going to get it this series. GRX continues to ban that out now 2 games in a row. And one final ban possibly at Koala. Yes, it's his Braum. I thought it would be. And we will see now first pick, second phase on the side of GRX. Maybe that support so they can get a mid lane counter. Seen quite a bit of Leona throughout this world, and it's been great from each play.
Yeah, Leona, a lot of people are kind of starting to feel like is a pretty good answer to Rakan. You can kind of follow Rakan back on the battle dance if you hit that Zenith Blade, pulling you sometimes on top of both the Xayah and the Rakan, lining them up for those stuns, and certainly you do have the potential to actually look for all-ins and play very aggressively with that Leona. They'll also be saving their mid lane pick for a last here. Trying to get Candy that counter pick. We saw how heavily they played around in game 1, but he was the one who was kind of on the bad side of the mid lane matchup. And if they play around like him like they did in game 1 and also get him a good matchup.
GBM's Ahri!
Oh,
hell yeah!
Blind Ahri!
Let's go!
Oh man, that is exciting here for GBM.
Awesome.
Not even as a counter pick, just slams it down.
Very cool. You know, GBM for the old Ori plays, some of those Ahri plays back in the day as well for this guy in the mid lane. So we could see that wheelhouse characteristic, high caliber play coming out of GBM. I want to see it. We said utility all day coming in, Zale. He would not be on anything but Zillion, Galio, things that'll just help out the team. Orianna with speed up his shield. This time he's going to be delivering the pain on Ahri. Nocturne's locked in as well, so they will be diving forward everywhere for these kills. And one final pick now is Ornn coming in for GRX.
This is going to be pretty crazy here.
Aatrox in the mid lane.
Yeah, Aatrox flex to mid lane. Ornn up there in the top lane. This is the first time all year that GBM will be bringing out the Ahri. He has no plays on it in the DCL. But it is something he's been known for, something he obviously likes in solo queue. This composition here from Supermassive is so aggressive, though. Look at all the dive, as you said. Nocturne flying forward, Rakan going in, GBM going in. And if they fall behind, I think this composition is going to fall apart very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Because it's much more of a stable composition here on the side of GRX.
Crazy stuff. The Aatrox in the mid lane as well, possibly throwing Supermassive for a loop as they do finally leave these two champions up. Did they think of every avenue, every possibility that would be thrown at them here? We'll have to find out. The early part of the game could be quite a swing, but we do still have to remember you have your junglers going till 6 if we're going to get any action for them. So left up to laning phase, GRX has always been quite strong. We'll have to see if Supermassive can step up in the early part of the game. Heading into game 2, Supermassive with game 1 win over GRX. Not many people thought it was possible. I believe we will have 5 beautiful games out of this one because GRX is not going to go down without swinging.
I mean, all these regions have been improving so massively. You see all of the major regions being pushed to the limit in these series. Cloud9, going to 5 games. We saw G2 dropping games as well.
Yeah.
We've seen GRX now down a game here. Certainly has been a challenge for these teams, and I think more of a challenge than a lot of people were expecting coming into the play-in.
Oh, question mark GBM, slow off fountain. No invade.
Fashionably late, Riv.
He was ganked by mom. Taking an extra moment. We'll see keystones coming up on each side. Unsealed spellbook on that top as PK and Fabulous will be reading bedtime stories to each other all lane long. And mid lane here, a bit of the dance back and forth.
This is Glacial Augment Ahri. So I think we're going to see the same kind of
makes
build.
Me shiver. Don't say that. I hate it.
You hate it? Oh no. Well, I think we're going to get it. So I think we're going to see the same kind of build that we've been seeing popularized with the Glacial Augment Vel'Koz's recently. We go the Super Soaker and Spooky Ghosts, and the slows are incredible. So, I have not seen this, but it does make some sense as far as setting up the plays when you are fighting against a lot of kind of melee champions as well as kiting them out. When you think of these 4 melee champions that are moving forward with the Skarner, the Ornn, the Leona, and the Aatrox, hitting that massive Glacial Augment slow in a team fight not only sets them up for an easy charm, but it's going to be very disruptive in their team fighting. And this could be much more of like a kind of kite them out style of play that GBM is looking for rather than a dive in and assassinate. And I think this is really, really cool, and I'm very excited to see how GBM will be able to pull it off.
Waiting all this time to pull out the Ahri. Says, you know what, guys? I had a change of heart overnight. I want to go aggressive again.
I like it, man. Got to keep them guessing.
Absolutely. Empty with a quick clear on the Raptors. Make sure you hit each one. Get that cooldown on your Chrysalis. Nicely done. Or Fracture, I should say. He heads towards top side. You're going to have a swap on the junglers, but they'll be on different sides of the map to start. And everything's quiet for now. Nobody really tried to get any forward wards in to be privy of jungler knowledge. So they're going to have to find each other here as one lane or the other pushes first for mid or top.
This will be very interesting. You know, GRX talked a little bit about their composition. As I said, I do think that they have much more of a kind of a stable team fight composition. It's kind of lower variance. You do essentially have this Kai'Sa, and then you have a bunch of meatballs in front of them. The Aatrox is the secondary damage there, but very strong engage with Skarner or in Leona, and you have a lot of protection with those guys going in. Something you also have to talk about with the Kai'Sa is all the plasma application that his teammates are going to give to him, because there's incredible amounts of CC. And every time they apply one of those CCs, it's another stack of plasma. So when you have 4 members constantly doing that, plus your auto attacks, plus your W's applying it, you can be frocking through that passive so fast and really putting out a lot more damage than you would sometimes expect.
Catching your enemy off guard quite a bit. We saw that happening for Zeitnot last game when she started to get pretty buff, and all the crowd control was working in his favor. He probably feels still pretty big coming into this game. Hopefully not letting it get to his head. Zeitnot knows what it feels like. His Tristana all throughout regular season was amazing in his 4-0 victories on that play. So just being a marksman, he loves and knows he's probably going to be on top of that podium of big plays throughout the game. He loves making the impact plays. Push in for Stitch and Koala. Even though they left lane to get Scuttle Crab start things off, they're going to get a quick clear on the waves here. 6 up so far, and that's only 3 to clear, so a little bit of a lead to start.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of a lead there, and that's honestly similar to last game. You know, we did see Supermassive falling a little bit behind in the bottom lane, but they have a priority pick in the top lane here for Fabulous, and he is a little bit ahead. But I don't think that you need to look at Fabulous and think, okay, he's the guy who has to win you the game. You just really want him to be holding even, to be neutralizing lanes. He has the push advantage with his pick, so that alone should be enough. And we will see how these other lanes do hold across the map as Empty getting that Spire proc, but you will be able to see that on the minimap if they're paying attention. And Stomage did already make his way back to base, has already fully cleared, so he's going to be power farming and looking for a quick 6 and that Nocturne ultimate.
Well, he'll head out and understand that most of that bottom jungle is not going to be there for resource. An unfortunate situation for him. He's not behind in CS, though, as he's still got a good path on Empty. Hovering around bot for wards. They're now going to know where he is, though, so Empty may head towards top side. Find out where Fabulous is they're close to meeting, but it's just going to be a Krug's ward. So they're saying, we know we're going to 6 in the jungle. Find where Empty could be. Find where Stomage could be. Everything else quiet on the home front here as it's farming back and forth. CS so far evened up until Stitch is able to absorb this wave.
Yeah, and I think those wards are always intelligent, because while you're certainly expecting them to wait for 6 to really go for those all-in ganks, if you get too lazy on the defensive warding, you can always go for those earlier ganks and look to take someone down, catch them a little bit by surprise.
So what's the first move that is going to be made? We could go either side. We're waiting for 6s, but where could we see that happening at 6?
I honestly think when I'm looking across the lanes here for Nocturne, Nocturne really does have some pretty good options. If you see that Ornn is pushed up, I do think that with the level 6 on either of your solo laners, on Fabulous or GBM, he could gank those solo lanes and look to take them down. Those are very powerful combos. I think bottom lane is probably a little bit harder to actually take out if Snowflower is not 6 himself, so I'm definitely expecting him to be going more towards those solo lanes.
Smite it! Gleaming Quill heal, nicely done. Well, he didn't have smite, didn't want to smite it.
Just saving onto it, I guess. He knows he's going to be able to secure that. Snowflower is there. Yeah. He'll be able to grab up the honey fruit and
playing it close to the HP.
Maybe he wants to hold on to it for any potential duel with that challenging smite, or just to continue clearing away.
I like the thinking. If you don't have to pressure it, do not. He heads back into his jungle, clear Raptors so they can come up as fast as possible, and he will head back towards his Gromp side. So again, junglers on opposite sides. Almost 6. We're getting there. GBM 6 now with Candy.
Yeah, these guys are going to be 6 very, very soon. Both these junglers have been heavily power farming. I really do like that Snowmage took the time, though, to get this early Ocean Dragon. That's such an advantage, especially in these passive games, for your laners to really be able to have all that additional regen.
CS has actually been evened up in the fight on that bot side. Nicely done by Zeitnot and Snowflower. Even in their losses, Zeitnot and Snowflower CS at 15 are averaging positive. So definitely a bright spot for Supermassive here within their games. No matter the result. 7 minutes on the clock. And it looks like Koala wants to get himself over the wall. The Flash Zenith could definitely be there, but GBM has Spirit Rush. So that's a very slippery Ari to try to do anything. Oh, if you bring the Impale, G becomes less slippery.
The pink ward actually spotted them all out. No one walked over and checked that, and they're going top lane.
Nice flash from Fat Fabulous, keeps himself alive, and they get Fear of Death. And Fear of the Death is putting PK beyond. He will be down for 17 seconds. That's a kill and assist. First blood to the top side.
Yeah, there's that combo I was talking about. You get level 6 on the solo laners. They spotted Empty on the bottom side by that pink ward. And with that Urgot ultimate, all Nocturne has to do is burst him down low, and the Urgot ultimate can do the rest. So Empty here challenging for this red buff. Should be able to grab it back, but a good kill up on the top side. And PK did use his flash as well.
Oof. Some quick plays. Let's see it again here as we were watching mid, and these guys just pulled the trigger in top lane.
Yeah, exactly. Fat Fabulous gets the flip in. He's looking for the ultimate and nails that ultimate. Flashes out of the R2 there. And then in goes Stomage. He has to flash out of the turret to survive. So it is a costly kill there. Both flashes, both ultimates, but still well executed, and it's something that they wanted to pull off. Anytime you are playing this Nocturne, you want to look for those kills early and often, but here is Empty and Candy setting up a kill, looking for Stomage, and he may just walk right into him.
He doesn't have flash from the top lane play, quickly impaled and taken down. Stomage with just a sliver of health left and donked by Candy on the Aatrox.
Yeah, nice job there. GRX, while they saw him on the top side, they invaded, they took the red, and they got full vision in the bottom side jungle, which ends up converting on that eventual kill. GBM looking up to the top side, though.
You have to wonder, that flash that Fab Fabulous used is now Summer Spellbook over to ignite more Krill pressure for the top side, and it'd have to be a teleport back for PK if they get this.
Now, Candy started to threaten that roam up. We'll see if they want to dive this. I think this is a tough one to pull off, but there's no MR and no HP built up.
They telegraphed it in. Foxfire's going to grab aggro. No, Fat Fabulous grabs aggro right away. Beautifully done on the Urgot for GBM to get the damage in and pick up another kill for top lane.
Yeah, and that's what can happen here. PK building full armor, no HP. He's going towards either an Iceborne or a Frozen Heart here, and when you go this route, you have no health, no MR, and Ari can really burst through you very, very quickly. So GBM shreds him down despite the fact that he's under his turret and at full health.
Thank you, Unsealed Spellbook. Back to Flash for Fat Fabulous on the top side, picks up too fast for him, and there's a lot more aggression towards Fat Fabulous this game, and I should say help as well from Stomage. We saw everything bot lane last game, so a complete 180 for Supermassive in play style.
Yeah, I mean, and it's looking really good because the bottom lane is still holding even.
Really is.
So they've picked the advantage here for Fat Fabulous. They have played heavily around him, and he is really quite a lot ahead now. You can see that PK is probably building towards the pieces of a Catalyst. It's a Black Cleaver already done at 10 minutes here for Fat Fabulous, and he already had priority in that matchup. It's just going to get harder and harder. Nocturne has the ultimate available, so they could actually look to go up there once more with that double ultimate combo too.
Haven't seen Candy do all that much, except for the invade with Empty. But this time, Supermassive being in the lead. Like I said, it's where they came out of the TCL, knowing what to do with these leads, pushing small advantages. What happened top lane now gets rolled over into Rift Herald. And great job by GRX to notice they have to do something on the bot side here as they are losing a bit of top.
They are getting pressured there, and they have taken away some, on the bottom side. They have been able to pressure in that jungle, and Zeitnot may get caught out here. Oh, could not react.
He still has the Feather Storm to go out, but it's a 3v2 as Snowflower tries to save him with Battle Dance once. A beautiful charm on 3, and they should be able to walk right out of this one. Exit stage left.
Really nicely done. First turret solo gold on the top side, and Nocturne is rushing down to the bottom lane. So if they stay around, GBM is coming. Nocturne could potentially join that fight.
Nice charm, orb in. Not ticking in for a full fight though. Rotation up from the bot lane.
Snowflower just played that so damn well, charming all 3 members there from GRX and pushing them back. Zeitnot being gifted that time to escape. Doesn't even have to blow his flash, so They get the advantage on the top side. They retreat on the bottom side. And Supermassive are playing such an impressive series. Now up 2,000 gold. The majority of that is going to be on the top laners in that 1v1. And PK is really going to have a hell of a time surviving up there.
Let's see what happened here bot lane once again, and the fast fingers from Snowflower.
Yeah, there was a little bit of time where perhaps Zeitnot could have actually reactive ulted on the Leona ultimate.
Sun was in his eyes.
Doesn't. Yeah, so it definitely was. Snowflower, though, able to peel for him and keep him safe. So well done by the bottom lane duo, and it's not that big of a deal because it didn't cost him his life. It didn't cost him his flash. And he is building towards that Stormrazor. It's already done on Stitch. They are down in farm a bit, but being down 10 CS is nothing compared to the advantage they have on the top side of the map.
Yeah, especially when that Urgot joins you in team fights.
Yeah.
You'll understand that that 10 CS means not much at all.
I definitely want to see Stomage, though, continue to be active on the map. I want his ultimates being on cooldown constantly. You are playing this Nocturne where I think it does get a lot harder the later you go into the game to really have that teamfight effectiveness, as you are a fairly squishy diver. So looking for these fights early and often really is something you want to do. And going up to the top side, if it's going to be PK isolated, you can find those 2v1 pickoffs, push turrets.
Solar Flare just coming off of cooldown. As Snowflower is in and out. That was literally off cooldown from Koala. They were trying to force it.
Snowflower, again, peeling brilliantly there. They do get the flash out of Zeitnot, so it was a nice attempt from GRX, but Snowflower is just playing this so damn well. Gets the grand entrance there onto two members, knocks them up, and keeps Zeitnot completely safe.
Definitely getting the pressure this game. We saw Snowflower, or I'm sorry, Koala on the Alistar would have been leaving last game, so invalid point. Continuing with current game, 13.5. But such a play here from Zeitnot. Flash down there, but still using Featherstorm very effectively to get out of all of these ganks. And they are noticing this is the guy that was 12-0 in a matter of minutes last game, and he's gone even in lane. This could be damn scary as we get here to mid-game.
It really can, and you can kind of see that GRX is feeling the pressure to get something done on the bottom side of the map. Their top lane is really hemorrhaging a lot of gold, a lot of farm up there on the top side of the map, and they're saying we got to make something happen on the bot side, but Supermassive is handling it, and they're going to take the mid lane turret with this Rift Herald. Easy peasy.
Nice push from Fabulous. He put two wards very deep in the jungle long
Super
ago.
silver.
Charm onto Candy. He is down. As that is going to be Sweets for the side, a Supermassive. Turret's going to go down to mid lane as well with the help of Shelly. Koala looking from the right side. Solar Flare again off cooldown. He is just using that as he calls for raise from the Sun. And it is not going to have too much effect on Supermassive as they head out with more gold in their pocket. Yeah,
it was a nice ultimate there from Leona, but no real follow-up. Candy's already down, so not going to be able to make anything happen from it. But we see that GBM, the early buy, already getting shown off here. And being able to use that Glacial Augment really, really effectively. You hit this massive slow. Candy can barely move. He hits the charm out of that, and then they follow it up with the CC. Aatrox cannot even get his ultimate off before he goes down, and I think it honestly makes a lot of sense. It's kind of guaranteeing those skill shots and being extremely frustrating in these team fights for this poor melee squad. It's going to be so tough to ever really catch Asari, and here it goes. Look at the slow. Does land. Actually didn't even catch onto Candy there. Did catch empty, and you see that slow ray go down, but just a really good CC change over onto the Aatrox.
Very happy coaches for our Acer Predator replay, and Supermassive is, their coaches aren't going to have any voices after this game. They're probably yelling louder than the fans right now in support for their team, but I'm sure the fans are very pleased with the results overall of Supermassive, a team that has struggled at international events, decent placement at Rift Rivals, but MSI always falling short in 7th and 8th place. To fly through their region this year and then make it this far in Worlds, one step away from the main stage and a ladder away from the Summoner's Cup. It's still the closest they've ever been, and they're ready to play for it.
Yeah, I mean, even just making it into that group stage, getting all the way through playing is so incredibly difficult, and really would be a massive achievement here for Supermassive, for the TCL. Something that they have not been able to do before as Supermassive, and really looking to kind of get that under their belts.
It would be amazing. You think of how we talked about GRX from the LMS. Usually it was kind of Flash Wolves, AHQ, all these teams that you heard of, and then GRX coming through, a team that did place 5th, but also plowed, powered through the regional finals, and we're kind of seeing that play here, but also maybe a bit of that regular season 5th placement as well. We saw GRX have kind of a Cloud9-esque season. Shoddy in the beginning, hold it around at the end. So hopefully here they're still carrying that good momentum as they would want to into the play-in knockout stage.
Yeah, and for a lot of these guys, they don't have a lot of international experience either, right? And there is the nerves that can come into play. GRX showcased a strong group's performance, but there were some questions about how strong was their group, how strong were the opponents, but here's the engage.
Oh, they get empty. Will they be able to take him down right away? Oh, they're onto the back line and trying to get away as Stitch. He goes down immediately. Stomage getting out front of the turret. Koala's going to be the next one to go to possibly as Empty gets pulled in. A fear beyond death. And they're going to drop PK. The turret isn't even damaging Fabulous as the team can prioritize the next target. GRX is looking to save their hides now as bot lane turret goes down. They head to base and Supermassive heads to the bank.
Oh my God, what a crazy fight there for Supermassive. Everyone just piling in onto Stitch. It's gotta be so frustrating for him. And again, Snowflower is just shutting down all these engages. GBM gets ultimated. Does he peel the Skarner? No, he goes past. He shuts down the follow-up. He shuts down the DPS, and then everyone diving down onto Stitch, knocking him out so quickly from that fight. And the ultimate from Urgot, Fear Beyond Death, pulling in Empty, taking him out. They do get the 2 kills. They do get the turret. And Supermassive are just playing this comp so well. I talked about how difficult it would be for them if they're playing from behind, but from ahead, you have so many engage tools, so many ways to start those fights, and they're gonna be able to have all the cards in their hand to look to close this one out.
Absolutely ridiculous. It is true. Supermassive from ahead continue to pressure all the time. And it does not look like GRX knows how to play against that at this point. 2 games in and they're still struggling a bit. GBM now heading to top side. Spooky Ghost builds up, so now he can definitely hit confirm anything, and if you're halfway across the map, he's going to be there to take you down anyways.
It's also really nice, actually, if you want to try to go for this more 1-3-1 style, if you're pushing out side lanes, you can use the Spooky Ghost just to be scouting it out, checking if anyone's around you in the jungle.
Super safe.
For escaping as well. That procs the Glacial Augment. There's almost no chance of chasing this guy down when he has his ultimate up, and all those massive slows from the Glacial Augment. So Supermassive looking to get control in the side lanes, then group up and find an engage. You have to remember, even if PK has TP available, which he does not right now, you cannot actually TP in when the Nocturne ultimate is up. So there is that window of time that Supermassive have to take someone down.
Ooh, GBM very low. One last hit. Candy flashes forward. That's going to be Stomage there, ready and waiting. So flash down as they get aggression and impale out of Empty on the top side. Supermassive pressure gain.
Now, even with that full Skarner ultimate to land on a GBM, can't quite take him down. Have to imagine that was a face check there from GBM. No other reason. Empty should really be able to get into melee range without using that flash. But either way, he does escape, trades the flash, uses his ultimate. So really not too bad there for GBM. And PK now down in this rush. Not sure you really want to be up in this guy's face like this.
Flipped and tripped. Disdain is on. They try to purge him out, and that's going to be the hit coming in. Is Stomage going to be able to get the kill? Yes. No, Stomage gets killed, I should say. Stitch comes up with that one, and they're now trying to turn it on to Fabulous, but he's just too tanky. Time and time again, you see the Urgot walk out, crawl out, skitter. I'm not sure what he's doing with 9 legs, but
all the above.
He's going to make himself safe as he gets out down towards bot lane. 5-3, another kill possibly coming through. It's going to be a big charm onto Koala, and they drop him.
Just absolutely take him down there. The charm landed from GBM, and CC always there to follow from Snowflower. These guys have been playing beautifully together. Really nice pick to get another one back there for Supermassive, and they are very far ahead. 6,000 gold to lead here, just past 20 minutes. The threat around Baron is quite real for this team. There's a tremendous amount of damage, so if they can control the vision around there, if they can get a pick onto someone, they could look to actually turn that into a Baron, and their turning power off of the Baron is also very high with Rakan and Nocturne looking to start a fight.
We talked about all these dives going through. We saw what happened on bot lane. From Tribush, everybody was able to get on Stitch. He died first, and he was behind the turret. It is insane for GRX to try and dodge out. He's going to have to keep himself super safe with Koala right as that hip-to-hip buddy. Frozen Heart there for PK, so if he can get himself into these fights, maybe shut down Zeitnot, Stomaged a little bit and deny some of that damage, but they kill Stitch so fast, it doesn't matter how much net damage you're denying from them. The front end burst is already too much.
Definitely agree. That being said, though, if they can hang on in these fights.
Deja vu towards the bot side. Blade Caller not able to get those in, but he is still going to be suppressed. Fear Beyond Death takes down PK from just about full health as the team continues to shred his HP into that execution range.
Yeah, they still have Nocturne ultimate, and the Recon ultimate is about to come up. They could actually look for a dive here. Candy's just getting back to base. It's temporarily a 5v3.
Watching to see what Koala could try and do. He does have Solar Flare up, and he's probably the only one going in with Empty on the small follow. Empty's flash is out. The Impale can't even come in now, as they'll have to walk into the fight. Great job by Supermassive to stay as that death ball. Nobody can actually find a target that they want, and it makes it almost impossible to engage. Now they're gonna have to take Fat Fabulous, but it's definitely not what they want. Candy tries to go in. Fat Fabulous finally down after 4 members can focus all their damage in. Here comes the Yorn Horn as PK is back up, and it looks like Supermassive have overstayed their welcome. Triple kill for Candy as Supermassive is caught with their hand in the jar.
Yeah, GRX might just go straight to the Baron. They're pinging for it. They are low on health there, but Supermassive definitely staying around too long. They did not have the disengage tools. The Nocturne ultimate was down. All of the Glacial Augment procs there for GBM were not available. He couldn't use the active items to kind of peel their way out, so they are straight onto the Baron. But Stomage has flash up, has smite, and is even on levels. We'll see if he can actually even get the vision.
Vision denied. Alteration Warp outside to see that he is coming in. 5,000 onto Baron. Sight Knot just on the bottom side. Stomage flashing in, and he's not going to get it. But the timing was there. A valiant attempt by Stomage, and he goes down.
That was so close to him getting that. Would have been massive for the team. But GRX just gets so much of a
very big play from GRX.
Yeah, the Nocturne ultimate is down. GBM has used his ultimates as well. And I think at this point, you actually should just abandon Fat Fabulous. Just accept that one member goes down for the inhibitor, but instead they stay around. Nice ultimate there from Koala, the flash forward to follow up on the stun. And despite some really good healing here for Snowflower, it is not enough. And then Stomage flashing in, gets the smite off. That was so close. That is within milliseconds, those 2 smites went off.
Everybody loves the attempt. It's always there. You will always clap for that. As we see everybody having a great time in Lol Park, taking it in on site as these teams fight for their right for the Summoners Cup. 25 minutes into this one. Our final best of series in this play-in knockout stage. Will Supermassive or GRX proceed? Supermassive right now trying to write that page.
Yeah, I mean, GRX certainly have bought themselves a new lease on life off of that play, but they are by no means in control. They're still pretty far down, so Supermassive need to stay calm.
Horn's gonna start the fight off as they do see Charm is down for GBM. They try to focus him. Suppressed in is Fat Fabulous once again. Snowflower goes in with a 3-man knockup. Is the follow-up damage there as all of GRX starts to go low. Fear Beyond Death gets onto Candy, but he is able to resurrect with World Ender. Stitch goes in, the Cathian Rain gets the double kill to come in. He throws down the stopwatch, and he is safe in place. They will be able to grab mid lane, and a huge fight from GRX after Baron.
2 for 0. They're gonna get so much now with the Baron buff here.
Supermassive need to leave. GLP flashes are happening. PK low, Orbit Deception, true damage almost taking him on the way back out. And mid turret is gonna go down as GRX is starting to suffocate Supermassive's lead, or what they had of one.
Yeah, they're right back into this now. Now only down about 1.5k gold at this point. Another great engage here from Koala. Supermassive feels pretty confident to actually start up this fight, but it's Koala finding another one. The Charm misses, and that is what prompts it. Gets the slows there, down onto GBM. The knock through, pulling back onto this Urgot, who is a very tanky member, but he's getting locked down. It was a really good re-engage, though, from Snowflower, charming up 4 members. Urgot ultimate pulls in Aatrox, but he's still in his ultimate form, so he just gets rezzed back up. And Stitch has been untouched this whole time, flashing forward, getting another kill there. And Stitch having his time in the sun now on this Kaisa, looking to take over.
Stitch being Stitch, the thorn in the side of Supermassive strikes again. And we'll have to see if he can do it now. Summoners down and quite a bit there on the side of GRX. And a lot up for the side of Supermassive. The fight may just go the other way, but right now GRX feeling good about that last positioning and being able to get a little more breathing room on the map with that bottom inhibitor down.
I mean, we're basically back to even. Despite the fact that Supermassive has 3 dragons, these are really not the big combat ones for the late game.
Yeah.
You have a little bit more move speed, but it's not like it's 3 Infernals or something like that that's very likely to decide a fight. So they have got to play this out calmly. They have got to collect themselves. They've made a couple of mistakes that have really gotten GRX back into it, but they can still win this game. An inhibitor is down. An inhibitor tower is down. They can really look to just kind of continue to play that same style that they had been. Spread the map, push the waves, look for picks on the side lanes with the Nocturne.
Resetting on both sides of the map. You see Baron wearing off now for GRX. 4,800 gold power play. The same play from Supermassive. Deja vu! This is the fight that went in favor of GRX, but it's starting off on the right foot for Supermassive as they again shock and awe. The GLP onto GRX, and now the chase is on as GRX cannot return the damage. They've lost GBM. But Supermassive still pushing forward. PK and Koala are the one to go down, but knowing that Stitch is alive, they cannot push forward anymore. Candy also able to deliver the damage, and Supermassive, now a fight that waffles back and forth, just gonna give up the dragon here. And that's the first thing that's really been slow about this game, to be honest. Everything's always been all the way down a lane, a full team fight ace. These little things are good for either team to even it up. We want that huge fight in the mid lane once again, but here's another one.
This was just a great engage. You hit the Ahri Charm, the engage comes through, the Urgot there for the execute. They get the fear as well over onto Orin. And GBM here lands some really nice slows. Everyone is completely locked down, but then he goes too far forward. He ults forward into empty, gets ulted up. He does have the QSS, but he does not have a Zonias or anything to actually get back out and survive. So if he wants to play that aggressive, he really does need to pick up a stopwatch or something along those lines. So a bit of a mistake there from GBM, but he really is trying to play this utility role in the team fights, and it's a very creative style of play, but Stitch is putting out a ton of damage. Candy is still putting out a ton of damage, so they have to respect that. Even with a good start in the fight, if you miss position, GRX can turn it around.
GBM picking up blue. He'll be able to dance around a little bit more. Quicksilver Sash in his hands now, so he can be a slippery fox and make sure all that damage sticks onto his opponents. Roaming around with Snowflower a little bit towards the top. GBM and Snowflower, new members to the Supermassive team as of this year. So awesome to see that in such a short time, everybody was able to sync up in that skill level and really come together as a team.
And really, just the improvements that they've made, even just watching from MSI to now, they have been getting better and better and better, working better as a squad, and some big ticket neutrals are coming up. The Infernal is going to be spawning. Baron is up in 40. You can see the Supermassive is trying to, again, push out the side waves, make someone respond from GRX, then look for an odd number engage.
Yeah. You got to see these GAs being up, though, as Stome is up. And is also Fabulous is up. This is going to be huge for the fight. A little bit of damage here, possibly onto Candy, but GBM's looking for a target he can zero out if Stitch makes a bad move. This guy, he's not really going to position that bad, though. You'll see Glacial up and off of the Spooky Ghost. Nice in coming in from Snowflower. Is it going to be enough, though? They take down Koala right away, but they're not able to trade too much more damage forward just yet. PK's close to going down, and now Empty and Candy have their eyes set on Fabulous. They pull him back to Stitch. It is a double kill for Zeitnot, but Stitch is alive on the outside. Now forced out of the fight. It's not looking good for GRX. They have been pushed into the base, and Supermassive wins in the jungle fight once again.
They can go straight to Baron now here. Another great engage facilitated by the Glacial Augment Ahri. They're going to be able to go right into the pit, and Empty is alive, has his flash, but this would be a tough one to get. He's by himself over here and has been spotted on the ward.
Empty, can he say it? I can do anything you can do better, only if he can make it over the wall. The flash and smite, though. 3,500 HP on to Baron.
It's going to be
Candy there as well to try and create distraction with a little bit of hit over the wall. Empty throws the fracture in, but he's not going to be able to make it. Disdain closer, goes down to Fabulous, and Stitch is now into the fight. Will they be able to take Baron off of the members of Supermassive? But there is no chase to be had after that, and Supermassive can now start to push the lanes.
I like the call there from Supermassive to be able to grab that Baron, but we do see the Glacial Augment slows them down, and then Snowflower with the incredible engage gets everyone. Flipped back in was PK from Fabulous and popping the Stone Blade on the right side. This Urgot is just so damn tanky, absorbing so much damage there that he's able to buy a lot of time, pushing back GRX into their base. They go over to the Baron, and then we saw Fabulous makes the call to give up his life to take down Empty, and I think that's the right call. Because it eliminates the chance of a 50-50. One life to guarantee that Baron is so much smarter of a play than just chancing it and hoping all 5 stay alive.
And you see how much of a factor the marksmen are playing in this game. Stitch being alive started to do some real damage in that fight, but he could not close it out. And main point to probably the last 3 fights from Supermassive, they have all been coming from that top red side of the map. GBM's first charm that actually resulted in GRX pushing mid, kind of a little bit better in that fight, was from the left side. Again, the left side covered by Supermassive. That fight was just won, and Baron results.
And that's the vision you're talking about, right? They're controlling the vision in that area. That's allowing them to find the engages, and really they have been doing a fantastic job of it, because you can't just walk straight up 5v5, walk into this team and fight a Supermassive. You need to find picks, you need to find preferential engages, and they have been doing an excellent job at getting that initial first kill in the fights that they're winning.
Top turret down. Too difficult to secure here in defense for GRX, so it goes to Supermassive, 7-2. And turrets, mind you, here, Supermassive starts to destroy every structure on the map that GRX has.
We need to see Supermassive now play with some patience, though. Look at this minion wave in the bottom lane. That is enormous on the minimap. That will push up and actually be able to pressure the inhibitor tower on its own, the inhibitor itself. So really, they just need to sit around, don't rush it, wait for someone to have to go wave clear that, then look for a dive if they're going to.
My eyes are on Empty, also looking at that Ornhorn. Candy tries to go in, nearsighted, and that is going to be, I believe, GBM getting locked in. No, it's Snowflower, so he cannot initiate, and they are able to get the kill. So as you said, not being patient enough, not buying enough time, and thinking the Baron minions were their safety to stay.
Yeah, and that was really not the play you want to see Supermassive make. From this position, you should be able to close this game out, but look at how aggressive they're posturing. You need to wait about 45 seconds or a minute longer, and those minions will kill the inhibitor for you. They will win the game for you. Instead, they move forward. GBM gets caught out there, blown up. Zeitnot as well, getting caught in everything, has to blow every summoner to actually get away. That means Snowflower is going to go down, so not only do you not get an inhibitor, do you not get a tower, do you not end the game, you're giving up multiple kills, you're giving over the Infernal, and you're allowing GRX to have more and more chances to win this game, because Stitch now has his death cap completed. With Zonia's and QSS, he is hard to take out, and this game only gets harder for Supermassive.
We're starting to see kind of a clear night and day picture. These fights from Supermassive, they have that vision on a quick charm out of the jungle. That first save from Snowflower, very much in favor of Supermassive. If GRX can see the fight for what it is, 5v5, they seem to be outplaying these fights overall.
Exactly. I mean, if Supermassive is not surprising them and getting an instant pick, they're probably not going to win the fight. So that's why all they had to do was wait. Say it's PK going down to the bottom lane to start clearing that out. Then you pop Nocturne out. Then you fully engage. And the Ornn cannot TP in during that Nocturne ultimate, so you have an opportunity to close it out there. Unfortunately, though, you can see sometimes those jitters, I think, come through on the stage. This is some of the most important games these guys have ever played. Representing the TCL here at Worlds. Want so badly to close out the game, your trigger finger can get a little bit itchy. You think you see the opportunity to close out the game, to be the hero, and sometimes with Baron minions, all you need to do is just stand there and let them do the work.
Yep. Patience is a virtue, a very difficult thing that not many people in League have. I am raising my hand.
Me too.
35 minutes on that clock. Looking as we're in the mid lane, at that mid lane for Supermassive. We saw GBM coming in with his Ahri, kind of expecting a little bit more fireworks from it. 0-3 and 11, still creating plays for the team, but definitely has to start stepping up as he's not having any more targets to assassinate on this team of GRX.
Walla is looking here. This is
Close Zenith,
but yeah, I mean, the Ahri is playing more of kind of the supportive style of role, slowing them down, but they're looking for a fight now.
Zeitnot gets his Storm onto that Feather Storm, rather.
On his Zeitnot!
Solar Flare. Koala goes in, and it's going to be Zeitnot going down immediately inside the fight is Snowflower, but he goes down before being able to pop anybody else up as Stitch starts to pick up the kills we saw him getting last game. And now Fab Fabulous is going to find himself going down. Huge plays in the triple kill for Stitch. Another deja vu. I cannot believe this is how GRX is able to come back in each game as Supermassive finds themselves
I think this is the game. I think GRX is just going to walk it down and end the game here. The respawn timers are too long. They couldn't cut off the minions, and GRX should have it here unless GBM can pull off some sort of a miracle.
Inhibitor's going to go down. GBM the only one left here. Stomage on the backside saying, walk this way, look at me. He's trying to hit up empty. They go for the turrets, and GRX has just flipped this game on its head. A few minutes ago, GRX was defending their inhibitors, and now inside the base of Supermassive, they are putting on a clinic to take down the towers. Here it comes from Snowflower. Zanya's in from Candy, and game 2 goes to GRX.
What a turnaround there from GRX. They were on the brink of defeat. Could have easily been down 2-0 here, but they stay calm. They stay poised, and they capitalize on the mistakes when Supermassive made them. And they are able to tie this series right back up.
Well, it feels good to win. There is definitely a lot of sighs and groans on each team of great plays, but